Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and well, finally back with my chart haul video for like December 2K24. The past weeks have been busy. I've been working quite a lot, so I couldn't find the time to shoot like a proper chart haul, but now, like 23rd of December, like tomorrow's Christmas Eve, which I like don't celebrate, so it's a good time to shoot another video. And the first record on show is something special, something I haven't shown on my channel within the past like 9 years, I guess, and which is rarely seen in the vinyl community at all. So what we got here is a set of records which marks Stefan Goldmann's scale and scope release on Editions Kymata, which is, I guess, one of his own labels. It's like a fold-out 7-inch thing, which contains not vinyl, but to my surprise and to everyone's surprise, I guess, a set of flexi disc records. I don't know if you still remember those, if you're old enough, but flexi discs are those like funny little like bendable things. I won't like get those out of their like sleeves, but here's the first one, like kind of transparent. All of these are one-sided, of course, like flexi discs are. The second one in like a pretty blue. The third one in like a kind of yellow tone, and the fourth one in black. All named after Greek letters, which are, I guess, alpha, beta, gamma, and I don't know the third one, theta maybe. You can look the track list up here. And what this is a set of like experimental ambient electroacoustic music described in detail in the press release or in the like additional text thing there as like specific scales developed by Stefan Goldmann. I don't get the entire point of the conceptual thing, but what I like about this is like electroacoustic experimental music, ambient-y, kind of with a little bit of a vintage retro touch, and that it's like a set of flexi discs. Haven't seen those in quite a while, and I actually like got an offer or requested an offer from a manufacturer to because I was thinking about doing a flexi disc at some point as well, but those are like heavily expensive, and for what they usually cost, the price of this like I guess highly limited box scale and scope is, or like box set is like pretty cheap or pretty affordable. So if you're like into weird formats and stuff and don't have any flexi disc in your collection, Scale and Scope by Stefan Goldmann on Edition Kymata is the way to go. Interesting stuff also for those who like electroacoustic music, and as I told you like in a few videos prior to this, I'm gonna dive deeper into like experimental music, noise, hardcore, and all that stuff again, so this is like a welcome addition to my collection in that regard. The next one is more of a bass music thing, but also interesting because the London-based Club Fabric is more focusing on doing label work. They have been doing like DJ mix CD compilations and stuff for ages, and now they do like compilation albums and also like proper artist releases, and this one is a compilation album put together by Mike Skinner, aka The Streets, which you might know as like a purveyor of UK bass music, UK garage, original pirate material under his like alias The Streets. Was one of the biggest albums in early UK garage, even though it wasn't fully garage, and here he puts together a selection of tracks from that realm, like post-garage, dubstep, bass music in general, some drum and bass, some like grime stuff. Labels look like this, like an 8-track compilation here. Mike Skinner is The Streets, so we got like 2 exclusive The Streets cuts as well, new stuff, and also 1 track by Mike Skinner under his real name. So there, for the fans of the project, there is like things to love as well. Just musically, Mike Skinner's stuff has always been like on the border of UK garage, but also including like, oh, this is the same record again, like elements of pop kind of, and like relatable storytelling, not that much of a gangster shit vibe like the old like UK garage grime stuff had. So this is it. 8-track compilation, Fabric Presents the Streets, highly recommended. And there are like a few tracks there that I really love. I love the whole thing. It's like an excellent selection and what I regard as one of the best like compilations in the bass music realm in general that has been released over the past years. Some things I want to mention here is definitely 2 tracks on which is both make the D side of the whole thing. This is one is Koki and Leotrix featuring Flowdan. Koki is like involved in the DMZ realm, like the kind of inventors of dubstep with a club forward thing back in the day with Mala and all the Digital Mystics and stuff. Flowdan is like a heavily reggae based or like raga based dark grime MC, and the track is called DIY, the old school mix, which has the like original street gangster vibe, heavy industrial beats and rhythms that I really loved about old school grime. And for the last track, as a surprise, is EMZ featuring Nasser and Valor, Free, which is like an uplifting MC-driven drum and bass anthem, like which I use in a DJ mix, or I've used in a DJ mix that will be aired via Radio Flouka like in a few weeks, I guess, or a month maybe. So for these 2 tracks alone, this is a great compilation, but in general, if you like bass music, this is one not to miss. The next one is very limited on the Adrenacore label, Adrenacore 08, which is a compilation 12-inch with 6 tracks. Supposedly in this version of variation in like this kind of pinkish vinyl, it's limited to 80 copies. There are a few variations of that, or of colors there, so I guess there are maybe 400 or 500 of those out there. Interesting stuff, hardcore, speedcore, a lot of drum, tongue-in-cheek stuff. Various artists, as I said, the most best known producer on here might be Neuroleptic, which I guess has also released on labels like Psychic Genocide and those labels. And yeah, this is interesting. Found this in a record store. Yeah, as I said, tongue-in-cheek, hardcore and speedcore, noisy, not that excellently produced, but there's a hardcore bootleg version of I'm a Survivor by Destiny's Child on there, and there's like a lot of sample madness going on. There's even like one track which samples like Cotton Eye Joe, that like super cheesy country Eurodance crossover from the early 90s, and a lot of weird mad stuff. So I had to get it because, well, funny. Adrenacore 08, various artists. You won't see this in pink out there because only 80 copies, I guess, are out there, but recommended. And the next one is going into the hardcore and related realm as well. Super interesting cover here, reminiscent of the old like tribe techno layouts and stuff. And this is Eau de Cologne, Rouge de Colère 09. Here is the full label with the track list. And Eau de Cologne is a German producer who has been like making marks in the hardcore breakcore scene in the 90s a lot and until the early 2000s. And this is like a kind of reissue thing with like unreleased and released tracks from well, I guess the mid 90s to 2001. A few of those tracks have been released on like a limited CDR compilation, which was self-released by the artist. Don't remember the name of that compilation thing, but as you know, the CDR thing, so scene, there were only like limited copies around, like I guess maybe 50 or so. And this is all like stuff that has now been lost, I guess, for the most part. The first time on vinyl for those tracks, 2 unreleased tunes. Musically, this is like a mixture of like ambient, breakcore, like Atari-driven, noisy, speedcore, all that kind of stuff Eau de Cologne used to stand for. So all over the board, but well, if you like ambient and like DJ Spooky and all that stuff, early Techno Animal stuff, and if you like raw, like digital hardcore recordings from the very early days and all that kind of stuff. Those tracks might speak to you. Super heavy, interesting stuff. Tracks are Punching Balls, Stick 'em Up, Dizzy Speed, Scope Cracked and Clear, amongst others. So Idi Cologne, also limited, Rouge de Colère 09. This is a label manufactured, I guess, by Toolbox Records in Paris, which is also like a distributor for that kind of music, and a distributor, the record store I used to work at, like did a lot of imports from like in the late 90s, early 2000s when I started to work there. But unfortunately that kind of stuff isn't like that present in the store anymore. So well. And the last one is an Italian reissue of Dreams by Quench, which is like a favorite track of mine, originally released in 1993 and was and still is one of my favorite like dark trance, hard trance tunes of all times. I guess I first heard this in '94, I guess, because it was featured on a compilation, Transmaster, whatever, mixed by Wolfgang Koch. Transmaster was a CD compilation series which had the original mix on there, which from my angle is the most important one and the best one amongst the 4 on this release. And this is put out again, has been put out again via the Italian label Dance on the Beat, which have done like a proper good job in like unearthing like 90s classics recently, and continue to like provide a new audience with like vinyl reissues of some of those like rave and trance and dance favorites from the 90s. So and as I grew up in that age, I guess it was a no-brainer for me to get this, because, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to play like a proper 90s trance set again, but get your favorites, get your classics into your collection, because you might use and abuse them heavily in the future or not, or on the radio, whatever. So that's it for now. Bass Junkie's like favorite tracks and records for 2K24, or like December 2K24. Expect more to come. A link to the whole chart post on my website, nightsdale.de, will be down in the description box, of course. Some Vinyl Talk videos are in the making, and some podcast things as well. Watch out for news. Follow me on Twitter, like SoundCloud, wherever you know the score. All links are down as well. Bass Junkie out. See you in the next one.